Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Phases Podcast, the Unpopular Genre. I'm your host, Nia. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button to be aware of any new content that I post. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know the vibes and how we get down. It's been a while. It's really been a while. But I am thankful to be back here. It's crazy. I actually had a few videos that I've recorded, but I feel like it just, it wasn't post worthy. So here we are. So in this episode, I wanted to really just talk about how ugly the internet is. I mean, truly sitting back over the years, and I'm a little, I'm a 90s baby. So at the end of the day, I didn't really grow up on social media like that. I feel like Instagram was really starting to get popular. Maybe like when I was about like going into high school, honestly, damn near coming out. But it was nothing close to what it was. Even if people would see the old Instagram icon, let alone setup, it's laughable. Just to even see how much like high tech advanced like become with social media, and I just feel like it's one of the most craziest things to be on. I also feel like because of the way social media has played a part, people start to really think like life operates like this. Like, how do I say this? Like, I feel like people expect life to function in the same way that social media does. For example, you have people that will, barely call you, text you, nothing, because they see like, oh, you on social media, you're good to go. What does that even mean? Go lay down. What does that even mean? And sadly, I feel like it's almost like a false reality that has just been created, that people buy into. Granted, if you're anything like myself, I feel like that my challenge with even being consistent on my own platform really stems from. Sorry, guys, my mic wasn't the best these first few minutes, but I feel like it really stems from the fact of like I really just don't like social media all the way. Granted, it has its benefits, but at this point, like the negatives are outweighing the the positives at this point. Nothing, and honestly, you can test this yourself. All you got to do, you can see the most innocent post. I just seen this post the other day where this dad and his daughter, they were doing this like cutest dance on the sidewalk, right? And they're doing the dance, they're doing it, and I mean, sure, little girl was grooving. How about I see in the comments, oh, he would have her on the wrong side of the street. What are we talking about? It's a dance being done, and honestly, if I was looking at it, I don't think he really had his daughter on the side. It looked like because of the way it was set up, he just did it for the dance. But even if that was the case, like, why does that matter? It's always the most innocent things that I feel like people just tamper, and damage and just like put a very toxic view on. But I think people have to also understand the real agenda with social media. Like, this was not put here to be a peacemaker, and it really shows down to, like I said, one being, as a matter, it could be the most innocent thing ever. People are going to put their negative 2 cents into it. People have daily jobs of trolling the internet, you know, um, no matter what it is or what area of interest we're speaking about, there is always one person that has nothing but time to sit on the internet and make a bunch of irrelevant comments that nobody cares about. Why? Because people engage with it. And until we really start like putting negativity in its proper place, it's really not going nowhere, especially on social media. I think another one of my problems is I really hate how so many conclusions can be drawn from social media. I see that alone, even as myself, like for content purposes, like I can record something eons ago, and I finally drop it. People will assume that, in that place, in that moment, that you're doing these things. Um, or you out, or once again, old content, you posting it. Oh, you ain't tell me that you was gonna go do this. No, because this was the time in which you already said you had something to do. But it's just people rush to draw conclusions so much. And I think the older that I'm becoming, that is probably like my greatest turnoff. Like, if you don't have enough discernment as an adult to just ask questions, then I don't really have a care to even converse with you, honestly. Because once you realize how big of a communication gap that is, you'll see how many times you'll probably end up in odd conversation with this person or disagreeing with this person because they are known to draw conclusions. And I don't really like that, nor do I really tolerate that in my regular real life. So I really don't tolerate that even on social media. Like, even I at one point went back through my entire Instagram profile and unfollowed anybody that I really just didn't feel like following anymore. Rather, you don't post, or I don't find your content that exciting. Honestly, it's some more people that need to go on that list. Because you really see a lot of people just have social media to watch and cock block. Like, seriously. So when you really see that, it's just like, I know you're not posting or being useful to the platform anyway, but I surely, even if you unfollow me today or tomorrow, it will be like as if it didn't matter. Seriously. And like I said, I definitely probably need to do that again. But that even changed the trajectory of my timeline. Like, I really like my timeline to add up. Everything of which I'm trying to like work towards is where I rather have my content aligned to go. And show me every day. And it's crazy because I just realized maybe like a few weeks ago, like, dang, I unfollowed the Shade Room. Cause I forget what was, something was going on, and I was like looking for, like, typed it into the Instagram thing, and the Shade Room thing pop up, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I unfollowed it. Major difference. Another one that's about to go is Niggas Be Broke. That one she's about to go too, because even though it'd be like a little kiki, just like the little Justin LeBoy, it'd be a little kiki, but a lot of times it's so much, it's so toxic, because it's not like a lot of times when people are posting certain things that they even believe it. It's like, for real, you just trying to get engagement, and that's cool. But a lot of times when they're doing it for the right reason, at the end of the day, it's a business at the end of the day. And because I'm already like adapting to business mindset, I get it. And almost to this point that it's like, you really see, like, that's probably one of the greatest Instagram strategies at this point. I seen it this morning. I was on Instagram, and this girl, she posted something like, you could do the quick flick video, rural video. And I think she said something like about, not having to worry about a baby daddy, or her baby daddy was getting on her, or something to that effect. But mind you, her page in her name says monetized by something. They ran that video up. Do you think that girl did nothing but enjoy the fruits of that labor off of opinions? You know what I'm saying? Like, opinions really don't pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, but that engagement will. It's just the crazy part. But people sometimes they thrive off that. Not to say that that was what she was doing, but it was just the example of people think that their opinions are really so, like, all y'all doing is just adding to the engagement. Like, no one really cares, and that's why even myself, I found myself being more disciplined and not commenting and stuff that just really don't matter. Like, I'll be ready to, engage or type something in a comment. I'm just deleting it, because it's just like, even if this is how I felt, who really cares? And that's kind of just where I've been at with the whole social media platform. And I feel like that has played a huge role in me being consistent on my platform, even though I'm fighting it more. Like, I'm fighting it more, fighting it more, fighting it more. But today I was just really in like why does it matter? You know, I had my tripod out. Usually I be doing the tripod thing out, but today I was really doing it. And I mean, TikToking and all. And I was really proud of myself, because I kept saying in my head, why do you give a fuck? That's what I kept saying. Excuse the language, but it's real talk. Sometimes you really got to talk to yourself like that, because we stop ourselves so much because we think about other people's opinion. And when in all actuality, you know what I thought about? If somebody, because I said this to my boyfriend, I'm like, if somebody chose to stop and engage and watch what I was doing, and I had my tripod out and I stood it up and I chose to walk past it and come back by and pick it up, then guess what? I wanted to do that. But I shouldn't want to not do that because I think it's going to look crazy to somebody that's minding my business. Like when that started really clicking for me, life started changing in a completely different way. Oh, not over popping. But it starts like it's that's been my slowly transitioning mindset because I really love to capture content. I don't do it for no validation. Half the time, the content never even gets posted. But I'm always capturing. And if you want to take it there, I was a person back in the day. I had to really think about this. I'm like, where did the eye for aesthetics really come from? Photography. When I was in middle school and high school, I was in photography class, and that's who's to say that's not where that stemmed from. Even as I got older, if I find a flick, I'm gonna drop them. Actually, I have a couple flicks I could probably drop on here. I was starting photography business. Like I remember doing photo shoots. I did my own photo shoot for my dance flyers. I did a personal photo shoot for somebody else that was just like, oh, I'm trying to, practice with this thing. And I remember doing one for my younger sister. That's probably where the eye came from. The more I'm just pondering on this. So it's never really been about the validation, especially since half the time it doesn't get posted. What are we validating that's not being seen? So it's just like really stepping back into what I authentically want to do and not letting anything stop me. And even today, the more I did that, the more I started looking at the world like, wow, we really do allow people's opinions to stop us in so many ways. Like I said, walk by that camera, stand that tripod up, and walk past it and go back and pick it up. Because if you are anything like I am, I'm a part of the original YouTube viewing gang. Even when we were talking about there was a group that wanted to be YouTubers and there was a group that just wanted to watch the YouTube. I was in the group that wanted to be a YouTuber. Not simply because, it the aesthetics and everything of which it is now is nothing how it was before. That's number one. Even when one of my girls that I really love, like Kyra is that girl. She had a video not too long ago where she was like throwing the clips back. Like we're talking like her early days of when she was on YouTube. And as I look at it, I'm like, yo, that was the pure days. You know what I'm saying? That's when you, even if YouTube you were pursuing, it was just like a different aura with it. Now everybody wants to do it. And it's not a problem. Different strokes for different folks, but there's a niche for everybody, or a niche for everybody. And I feel like if it's not your thing, then it's just not your thing. But if it is your thing, do it and don't let nobody stop you. Especially like I said, a lot of times if you're not into content creating or photography, videography, anything of the lens, camera, aesthetics, you probably wouldn't even understand why people like to do it. A lot of people will make the assumption like, oh, people just want to, flex their lifestyle, or, people just want to, whatever. When in all actuality, that's not even the case all the time. You really do have honest, hearted individuals that just like to share moments. Even when was thinking like, I was like, because I know, when I get to some water, I have all the aesthetic shots I want to get. You think I'm really doing that just to take and post for Instagram? No, I'm actually going to do it for myself because I really do like it. But of course, you're going to share it on a platform, especially when it's paying. Like, what are we talking about? So it's just find your tribe. At the end of the day, truly find your tribe and go with what works for you. People and opinions will always be there. So I feel like, don't be one of them individuals that allows other people to put a damper on your light or the things that you're trying to do because of being small-minded. And that's where we really were at today with things. So without, diving into too much other stuff, I just wanted to touch base, sit down, chat. Please be sure again to, subscribe. I'm really trying to get more consistent with this podcasting thing. Y'all know, if you've been on this journey for some time, it's been no easy one. You guys see me since before. Well, I think I took all the videos down since before my son, but I've been on trying to get, stay consistent with YouTube since before my son, but shortly after, you guys seen it. And even just to look at like the transition of my platform, like I'm just glad that I never waited for what I would ideally think the perfect time to drop all this stuff. Like it doesn't even exist, honestly. But I'm just excited to grow. And once I stay consistent and once I get, put the work in that needs to be done, I just can really just sit back and enjoy the fruits of the labor. Because like I said, this is not a new thing, and my intentions with this thing goes way deeper than what some may. So, I just wanted to really just share that and pour that into the platform today. So, without any further ado, I will see you in the next video.